CBSI presents the Hot 10 comics on Friday. We are at October 18th, 2019. I'm Dino. I'm here with John Z and Ben S, the creator of the list. He's back. So, boys, take it away. Here we go.
All right, man. We're going to come in strong with the first honorable mention, which is Hangman Comics number 3. This is a Golden Age book, as Ben likes to highlight. This bad boy has a lot going on. I mean, you've got the Axis, the Allies, the Nazis, the swastikas, a guy wielding an axe. You've got some good girl bondage going on. I mean, this cover is just every Golden Age kind of collectible on one page.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing it's missing is an atomic explosion, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have I don't know if it's got a significant pre-code horror thing, but it's close. So it's a pretty book, and as you had stated, the last sale for a 4.0 was $2,600. A 6.5 sold for $8,100 recently. It's doubled in the last 2 years, which good Golden Age books are starting to do. I mean, the market is just going. So if it's something that people want to buy, it's jumping. So if you find something that looks pretty, buy it.
Yeah, this one's, I mean, when that was pretty much the only sale that I saw in the last 2 years, this is not one you're just going to see. You're not going to see for sale. I love those kind of books that you just don't see.
As my good friend Ben C has said in the past, get yourself a Gerber guide, go through it, and look for like the top 100 craziest covers you can find. This one would definitely make the list, and buy those up, because those are the things that people are going to keep going to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Doc Joe says the swastika is what sells it, but yeah, there's so many things. There's so many different things.
There's so many with swastikas, but that one just has so much going on.
And you got the bondage in the back too.
That one, Doc Joe, that puts it in a genre. This is as we've talked about, cross genres. You know, that has 15 things going on, so it's in 15 genres. So that's what's happening on that one. The other honorable mention of the week is one I sent to you because I had no idea what this was when I saw it. I actually won't take credit for finding it. Captain Shipwreck on Instagram posted this as his grail that he purchased, and I went and searched eBay and saw that it appears to be a $5,000 sale or something near. It's a little wonky on eBay lately to figure everything out. But this is the Great Salt Lake Comic Convention pamphlet from 1991, 2 years ahead of both Dime Press 4 and SDC Comic Convention number 2, which for those of you who do not in the know is the first appearances of Hellboy. This one precedes them by 2 years. Dina, did you have the image of that?
Yeah.
Throw that up.
I do.
This book is one of the things I had no idea it even was a potential thing to exist. So for those of you that are hardcore Hellboy fans and historians, God bless you, man. I talked to our friend Topher, who knows everything about everything, and is like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, you sent this over to me, and I literally looked at it 3 times thinking, I don't even know what I'm looking at. What is this, like something they gave out at a movie theater? I mean, it looks, it
looks like some paper stapled together. I mean, I don't even know if we call it a pamphlet, but God bless you.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old Triple Fanfare from Detroit that I had a couple like a month ago or a couple months ago. It's just like inserts, like it's like literally like 4 pages and some staples, and it's like, okay, and it has some art, like Neil Adams did a cover and Frazetta did a cover.
Well, I've got that Tick 1 ash can that was like a 50 proof type thing, like it was staples and a color cover. That's rough. This isn't even a color cover, so I don't know if there's another copy out there. I bet there's 5 or 10 that didn't get thrown away, some miracle, and they're all probably sitting in a garage at the bottom of a box. So if you live in Utah, get looking.
Yeah, I mean, how difficult would something like this reminds me of the gobbledygook that is kind of just basic paper and can be like CGC won't even verify it that it's.
Oh, I doubt they'll grade it. I doubt they'll touch it, but people in the know what it is.
Well, hopefully
this is like just to Hellboy as like graphic fantasy is to the Savage Dragon. It's just it exists. Probably this exists about 1/10 of that. So
yeah, well, hopefully this will kind of prompt some people to or expand everybody's knowledge about what it is. But
I bet you $10 everybody in this chat and everybody on this channel would probably pass that book up if they saw it in. They're like, "What's this?"
I know a couple of our boys in Salt Lake are out there looking already. So AC, good luck to you. All right, to the list. Number 10.
Woo!
Venom.
We're excited about this one.
Let's go.
Number 18. Another one of the Marvel second print 1 in 25 variants. It's pretty much a black and white by Coelho. Can't say it's my favorite rendition. I do like the black and white with Venom, but it is what it is. There just probably are none of them out there. $40-$50 for a 1 in 25 second print. You can make some money, and who knows where these things. You look for them in 10 years, nobody will know where they are. So
yeah, these I still trying to figure out why Marvel decided to do these where they're doing the front and back cover and it's like the transition. I don't know where they thought that was like, oh, this looks really good, because it just doesn't. For me, it doesn't. It just doesn't look good on a single cover.
Makes sense to me though. Venom makes sense because he is always a transformation. But some of them I've seen have been, what are you doing?
Yeah, but I mean, how would you even display this?
It's almost Ghost Rider-esque.
You need two of them. You need two of them, and you got to put one slab backwards. Or I have seen people get these frames like and you just mat it on a frame. You can't grade it and mat it, but who cares?
I mean, yeah, for $50, it's not like it's a $5,000 comic.
Exactly. I don't know, but there's other things I'll buy probably to display than this bad boy.
Just smash that spine down, baby.
Smash it. Make it flat.
Just press it into it.
Bring this up. When I got back in, I met a Golden Age guy that said when pressing was old school, they actually used to use an iron, take the book, take the staples, flatten it, press it, and then refold it and use an iron, man. So just there's dumber stuff we can do.
I like getting a signed slab on the slab.
Don't make fun of our boy Paul.
Anyway.
Number 9 on the list is a little bit of a throwback to all of us. Gargoyles number 1 from 1994.
That cover right there that's showing is not the actual cover. That one's that's from Slave Labor. The one that's actually on the list is the Marvel version.
Oh, we got some bad
graphics for this week. But
look at this guy. Who is this guy?
1994. It's been selling $5-10 a pop.
Yep.
Now it's moving to 15 or 20. And I know this book's one that people have been kind of hunting for, and I never see anybody kind of find it.
Right there.
Every once in a while I see one pop up. So I don't think it's easy to find just because it's something nobody bought then and nobody's buying now and until like now.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you do find it is an embossed cover, so it is
up here.
It is strictly it's a 90s cover for sure.
Wow, it's a Connor though. How about that?
And that run too. I think was it 12 the last issue. 12, I think that's a pretty expensive issue too. Just for
it went to 11 or 12 something like that. But yeah, I was trying to figure out what's prompted. I mean, these are kind of one of those that people. The people that want them, kind of like Earthworm Jim, something like that. People are trying to find them, and they're not that easy to find. But yeah, so
I don't think they're going to be easy to find. Still, I mean, more people will look, and a few more will pop up. But that book is not. It's just not out there. I mean, I feel like that's the kind of books that dealers just throw away at some point.
I mean, I found a couple in just dollar bins. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day,
and probably beat to death.
One wasn't bad. One wasn't bad. I was surprised. I mean, it had a couple creases on it, but I mean, I wasn't thinking about back in the day, like 4 years ago. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna grade this book because. So.
Yeah. All right. Number 8 is actually a spec of mine that I've been on, but apparently just doesn't want to move. But also one of the best artists in the business, Black Adam #1. The 1 in 10 variant by Alex Ross.
Finally getting some love.
This bad boy has been sitting 20, 50. It'll pop up to 75 when The Rock talks about it. But all of a sudden, he confirmed that this movie will start shooting in July of next year. So a movie that's been gestating probably about a decade finally has a date in stone. And I think if there's some production pics or some promo work of The Rock in costume, anything Black Adam's going to blow up.
Yeah, and my gosh, I mean, seriously, is there any artist in the past 30 years that's better than Ross constantly? I mean, consistently.
I think Ross just doesn't make us money, but if you're just going to buy books, it is some of the prettiest stuff to look.
Yep.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And I guess I'll throw out there too with Black Adam, right? Shazam 28. Was it Marvel Family 1 there?
Marvel Family 1 is the big boy, but I think it's priced out of the market. I did watch the cheapest one that was on my watch list, which was I think at $600 your best offer, that I actually saw at Baltimore 2 years ago, that same copy. But it was like had mold on it and the back was half there. It was a beat one. It seems to have disappeared. Doesn't look to have sold. It looks to got it pulled. So the cheapest copy in the market's gone. Most of the other ones are fishing, but I think some of them will start getting some lines now.
But
that book is tough.
But Shazam 28 is a good book too, right? I mean,
Shazam 28 is a good one. It's almost too expensive for most people to want to get at this point. So this Black Adam #1 is probably the most achievable one to get.
Yeah, I had a Shazam 28 back in the day.
The Shazam 28 is a what, $1,000 9.8?
Oh, I'm sure it is
somewhere near there. So Black Adam, The Rock, we love it. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
2,200.
2,200. Jesus, twice what I was thinking. So yeah, that book's been an expensive book too. So we'll move on. Number 7, kind of squeezed between some pretty big books, is Amazing Fantasy 10, a repeat on the list. First appearance of Nina Price. That is rumored for the Satana property, or the Hellstrom property. So we will see where this one goes, but it has jumped from 20 to 30 to 35, so it keeps moving. This is not a rare book, but not an unrare book. It's the same run as the Amadeus Chow, so we know there's some out there. They're just probably buried a little deeper.
Yeah, I remember when 15 got hot. I found a few of those, from shop to shop, and then once they were all found, then you were never going to find it again. And that's kind of where this one, I think you can still find this one at some shops that are not in the know. You're still going to find
others in Baltimore. Go looking, man. Go looking.
Yeah, I have a feeling you can still find this for less than cover price.
Yeah, definitely. If you get some dealer stock that's just not moving, that's where you're going to find it.
Yeah.
Number 6 is a big boy book for a long time. One of the Copper Age trifecta, at least in my opinion. The Turtles, The Crow, and Bone. Some people argue some other things in there, but that's mine. Bone #1 by Jeff Smith. He has apparently signed a deal with Netflix to do an animated series, which to me is surprising it's taken this long, but I'm guessing he's wanted a good partner, and that's probably the way to go. This book has been nuts for years and years and years. And as you said, there was an 8.0 copy that sold for $900 plus and a raw for $1,000. I mean, you haven't been able to get a 9.0 or 9 plus for less than a couple grand for a long time, though.
So since you probably know more about Bone than most people, Bone was written here in the great state of Ohio. Jeff Smith is from Columbus, and
we won't hold that against him.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So, can just briefly just tell everybody kind of, because I've never really read Bone. What is Bone really kind of about?
Bone is just kind of a fantasy series about these three brothers that end up ostracized from their home, and they kind of live out in the wild of the world. It is a story that it had, I think, 10 plus printings of number one. It's just a good kind of kids book. I didn't even really know. I mean, I knew about it, but I never read it until my oldest kind of picked it up in the school library when he was maybe 7. And then he got on it. So it's one of those things. It's a great story for young kids, but it's good enough to keep adults in it, because he was checking them out and I'm reading it at the same time with him. It's been printed a bajillion times by Scholastic and the ones that do the book sales for the kids. So I think some of the stuff that you might be interested in finding beyond Bone number one, the first couple issues in the first print are pretty rare. As well as there is a hardcover printing of the entire Bone saga. God, I can't remember the number. I want to say it's either 1,000 or 5,000. It might be as low as 1,000, autographed by Jeff Smith. I picked one up a few years ago, and I don't remember the details. But that's something else to grab. Is look for some of those early editions of the collected ones.
And speaking of Alex Ross, didn't Alex Ross do a variant for Bone, like number 39 or 42 or something like that?
Well, I won't even comment on that.
Yeah, I believe he did. But yeah, so the show, is it more geared towards like less under 13 or like teenager?
I think it's an under 13 type show, but I think it's going to have some cross enjoyability. It's one of those that as an adult you can read and enjoy, but as a kid you can read. It's not one of those like where you're going to get inside dirty jokes, but it's just an enjoyable story. It's a good story.
And I do want to say that this is how many, there's like a lot of prints of this, so it's always the one with the red cover, the red Bone, right?
Yeah, and it's got to be that there's a red Bone with Image on it as well, because Image took over around print 4 maybe.
Yeah.
So watch for the one with the CB indica. Yeah. There's some price, the price changes over them, but yeah, the red one is the original, and go with that. Like I said, it's a monster of a book. I owned a copy a few years ago. I sold it in a moment of weakness, and I regret it. And I have probably not seen a copy since. So it's not the rarest book out there. I mean, when we're talking some of the other things out there, but it is not common. It's probably in line with Crow 1, Primer 2, that kind of number. So if you can find it, grab it.
Cool. Before we jump in, just everybody watching or streaming on Facebook or whatever, just make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and comment. Please keep commenting. We do read all your comments and take everything to heart. So so just keep doing that. Go over to our website, comment there as well. We do like the comments.
Cool.
Number 5 on the list, a new book this week, which I feel like we've only had one of them, which is pretty impressive. So new book, a 1 per store variant of an Image title, marked number 1 with the pretty solid Halloween witch theme, selling for $40-$50. So apparently there's some tattoos in there, according to Ben's little article.
Yeah, so I didn't buy this book, but I did kind of read the synopsis of the book, and the premise is basically, I guess these girls are able to manipulate their tattoos to control things or something like that. So they use their tattoos. So like when you look at that this cover on this one, all the stuff on her arms and legs, it's all tattoos. I see lots of skulls and yeah, like Z said, the Halloween theme with the full moon and everything is kind of
well, we know our boy Chloe's going to buy it. It's got the full moon.
He needs a 9/8 of that.
I you know, it's funny. I felt I've seen that like from a movie, like people's tattoos. I mean, not Memento, but still, like they're.
Well, it was Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
The tattooed man,
yeah,
who was a Green Lantern villain, had that kind of power. So it's got the full moon. It's got the blue cover. It's a pretty cover. I don't
pin-up style kind of.
Yeah, I don't chase too many moderns. If I had seen that, I probably would have bought it. I probably won't see one, so I won't. But which is the exact opposite of number 4 on the list. Cobra Kai number 1, the 1 in 25 McLeod variant. I saw this one on the shelf on Wednesday. I've been watching the show on YouTube because they've been streaming it for free. And I thought, well, that's a fun book. I don't want to spend $25 on this variant. I don't really love it. I like the imagery, but I don't love the art. No, I'm going to walk away. And of course, now it's sold for as high as $90 for 1 in 25, which is really freaking good, especially for an IDW property. I mean, this one is hitting the nostalgia factor right in the nuts. And I honestly debated the 1 in 10 a little more just because of the symbol. But this 1 in 25 has got to be rare because who the heck ordered 25 of them?
Yeah, that comes down to a lot of these variants that you just now and I correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't IDW have a thing set up to where you can their titles are fully returnable?
Oh, you're talking beyond me.
I think so.
I feel like I've heard that before. So I'm surprised that some of these stores don't just go ahead and kind of take the risk on it and get some of these variants, but I just don't see it. Around me here in Ohio, I just don't see any shops ordering enough copies really to even get the 1 in 10s, let alone a 1 in 25.
This one that I went to is a conglomerate of one of 3 shops. So between 3 shops, they probably ordered 10, 10, and 5 and thought, we'll gamble. For those of you in the story, this is apparently diving a little bit deeper into the Karate Kid story through the eyes of Johnny. I think it's the flashback of the years we missed for the show on what network is it on? Is it YouTube network?
Yeah.
So I have enjoyed the show. I thought, man, I should read the book, but I didn't want to pay $25 for the variant, so I failed.
I'm gonna make a remark. You know what this reminds me of? Rick and Morty number 1. It's like plain Jane kind of, and you're like, that's what I thought when that Rick and Morty number 1 with just that white cover that goes like $1 billion. I think it's the same way. It's like not much going on. And you're like, I'll pass on it, and it's gonna be super rare, I bet you. And
I regret it already, and I just am annoyed. But I thought, God, that's an ugly cover.
I bet you 9/8 go for like 500.
Oh, so annoying.
Bet you 9/8 go for 500 or 600. First to market's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it just proves that there's no logic anymore. Everybody likes something.
Yep. So I'm going to cut in on this one. So we have a giveaway. We have Wolvenheart number 1. It's a CBSI exclusive variant. It is a Tomb of Dracula 10 homage cover by Villarreal. Pretty cool cover. I think we're going to do something a little different. I think we're going to pick somebody from the YouTube chat.
Sounds good.
I really haven't looked yet. So we'll do that after like 2. We'll give away. We'll get more people to look. You know, we got.
So if you're watching live, give us a comment. Give us something amusing to talk about, and you get a chance to win.
Yep. So we'll do that. We'll do the YouTube chat, and we'll do it around like 2 or 1 or something like that. So
probably at number 1 because we're on number 3 right now, Dino.
Oh, okay. So let's continue. Right, number 3.
Number 3 is a book that I think has been on this list before. It's been a while.
It has.
But Spider-Man Unlimited number 1, the beginning of the Maximum Carnage series.
Yep.
Has the first appearance of Shriek, who some site that will not be named maybe said it was going to be Shrek. Will be in Venom #2, which makes sense if they're going to do Carnage. This is probably the story you got to pull a lot from. I mean, this was his entrance. This was his grand, introduction to the world, so to speak. He showed up before, but this was his story. This was his. We're gonna make him the character that we want him to be, and she was an integral part of that. So, it's jumped to $10-15. There's a lot of copies of this book. It's not rare Spider-Man book, but there's a lot of Spider-Man books that don't need to be rare to sell for a lot of money. So who knows where it will top out. The whole series used to sell well. I know I've sold the series for $75-100 years ago. So it's a great run to have. Not the greatest cover in the world, but it's not bad. It's got your hero, it's got your villain.
There's a newsstand out there of this, correct?
No, it's there's a Dynamic Forces.
There's no newsstands?
No. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't show it in the stock or anything. I see Dynamic Forces is like a $50-60 book right now.
Well, that might be the one to get.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, there's a Dynamic Forces set. I'm trying to find out what the real difference is. I think the cover on the back's a little darker blue, maybe.
There is a newsstand.
Oh, is there? Okay, well, there's a Dynamic Forces set too. But anybody want to take a gamble of how many's on CGC census?
Of this book?
Yeah.
Probably
None.
not many.
2.
For 9/8, 341.
Oh,
Of this book?
Yeah.
Wow.
Frank-a-moly.
9 9s are only 2, but still. But 341 of 9/8, 341 9/8, and 44 signature series. So 385 altogether.
My boy, if you got the 9 9s, get them ready. Get them ready.
Wow.
Congrats to you guys that thought this. God, if you got a 9/8, you better be listing that bad boy and selling it. Like I said, you could hold it, but there's a lot of copies, but 300 and some 9/8s. Sell a few of those bad boys.
Okay, so and just so you
I
know,
hope it's one guy that has 300 of them. I really do. I really do.
So there's a Dynamic Forces. It was a specially limited series of 10,000, signed and numbered by Ron Lim, artist Ron Lim.
Oh my gosh, he had to sign 10,000 of them.
Yep, includes Dynamic
Wow.
Forces issue COA too. So
That was the common number in the 90s. I mean,
Yeah, but gosh, can you imagine signing 10,000 times?
I mean,
there's a lot of them. How many Spider-Man 1s did Todd Father sign in that original?
I don't think it was 10,000.
hey, that's a JSC weekly number, so I don't know what we're working about. No.
Yeah. And the issue is he probably didn't get paid enough back then. Now he'd be bank.
Okay.
Moving on to number 2. This is probably the most controversial book in a while. The Marvel Celebrate Stan Lee book.
And it was what, number 1 last week, right, boys?
Yeah, it was number 1 last week.
It was $500. You're still seeing it hit 600 and 700. The rumor was that because this was a special kind of gathering event of Marvel employees, right?
Yes.
And that Marvel said if you're caught selling it, you're going to get fired.
You gone.
But I don't know how they prove it. I don't know how they track it.
Oh, man, come on. It's Disney. It's Marvel, man. They got algorithms of the wild.
A lot of guys sold it cash to somebody and kind of walked away with it, and it got sold in the secondary market because we've seen that happen.
Yeah, I think that's probably more that's happening.
Got it at the show or at the event that sold it. I mean, once they move via cash, it's an untraceable thing.
Yep.
If they would have serial numbered it and tracked it, that would have been interesting.
I think
some real risk there, guys.
Well, I think they look on eBay or some site and they say like if it's from wherever the location was at or whatever, they're gonna be like,
Well,
I'm just
in Hollywood.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. Just like I said, I don't think that threat had any real gusto, but it is a rare book. Stan the Man will always be celebrated, and this is a kind of one of those rare pieces.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the people that are actually buying this are not buying this to resell. They're buying this to keep it, and it's gonna end up in a box. And once these, 40, 50 copies or whatever come to sale here in the next month, I have a feeling they're just going to not be for sale anymore.
It's akin to that the Disney cover we talked about a few weeks ago.
Right.
I still wish I bought
The D23 and then the crazy black and white too. I think.
I don't know about the black and white. I was just talking the original, but it's just one of those covers that people are going to want and they're going to put away, and it's gone. It's not coming back to market for a long time.
I think the same thing.
All right, so we're going to do this giveaway. Do we have somebody to give this away to?
Sure, why not? I will pick. I guess want me to pick it? I don't care.
You pick.
Sure.
We're watching because we're late on a Friday night. So
I'm going to give it to this Closet Geek guy because I haven't seen him. He's a new guy. Why not? Closet Geek. I think it's hashtag space Closet Geek. So we'll send you out a copy of this Woven Heart #1. Just send me your address at CBSI FlipSide, all one word. I'll put it in the chat too, at gmail.com, and we'll get it out to you. So I like the participation. So
to the #1 book of the week, which by no surprise, this is the belle of the ball, the talk of the town.
Let's go.
Monstrous #1. This book has been. I don't know that I can go a month without hearing somebody talk about this book, whether they're comparing it to Saga, whether they're talking how much they enjoy it, whether they talk about the art. This one is just one of those books that doesn't need media buzz and just got it. So now it is on fire.
I got one sitting around, laying around somewhere.
Yeah. $50.
I had bought 50 of, Yeah,
$50 for the first print, $100 for the second print. Even $20 for the third print. Let's see what 9/8 are selling for right now. It's not an easy 9/8 because the book is so thick. It's ridiculously thick. But let's see here. There's a CBCS 9/8 sold for $150. A second print 9/8 just sold for $450.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's what we're going to talk about. Because
they're thick books too. I think that's the other reason.
It is super thick. It's super thick. But here's the problem. And this was confirmed by a source that is very close to what is going on, and spoke directly with the author, Marjorie Liu. And Marjorie Liu confirmed that this is not what was optioned. Monstrous is not coming. Monstrous from Image is not coming to HBO Max.
Nope.
So it is Monstrous, but
the project was licensed or greenlit for HBO titled Monstrous,
but it's not Monstrous the comic book. So all the buzz over the past few days that people have been pouring all kinds of money and the price skyrocketed, Monstrous is not coming to HBO Max. At least not right now. But this is the Monstrous title that they picked up is not Monstrous the comic book.
This reminds me of like about 5 years ago when the Teen Titans show was getting optioned, and WGN Network put a Titans show out, and everybody's like, "Why are they doing WGN?" And they weren't. They were just similarly titled shows. That was a show about mountain people.
Yeah.
And the fact too that at least in movies too, they give names of things in the beginning of when they create things, and it's not the real name of the title when it comes out. It's Joe Bob's trailer park, and it comes out to be Justice League 1. So
yeah, and here comes the rub with a lot of this instantaneous news and stories and everything else is, in this case, nobody kind of bothered to check to see if it was the right or if it was actually Monstrous the comic book.
Yeah.
They just saw Monstrous, and the main news sites kind of reported it. But nobody really ever confirmed it.
It's going to be a female Loch Ness monster movie.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the kind of the problem with. It's not just in comic books. It's in society in general.
Mm-hmm.
That our information comes so fast, and everybody wants to be the first to report it. That a lot of times the fact checks don't go through correctly, and in this case, they did not go through correctly. Now, this is not to say that Monstrous is not a great book, because it is. It's been a great book since it came out 4 years ago. Has it been 4 years now? 5 years?
Yep.
I don't doubt it gets optioned.
I don't either. And
everybody whispers Saga, then a little quieter Monstrous.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so it's been a solid seller for years. It's really, you can't find it cheap. It's not the number one issue is not going down. But you're
not finding it in a bin, because this one was at the height of the spec market.
Yep.
Right.
Not a copy is floating out there, unless you live in maybe rural Arkansas or something.
I found them at Indianapolis Comic-Con when me and you went 2 years ago, and I got it for like $5.
Right.
Jesus Christ, you just insulted me.
I did.
Hey, and I don't know if you guys remember, maybe it was 9 months ago, the same type of thing happened with Batman Beyond, where information came out that Batman Beyond was going to be, part of the next Batman movie or something like that. And then the book went up, and I'll be honest, I still look, and raw copies of that are still selling for $75 to $80. So just because the option news is not correct doesn't mean it's still not a good book to have. But we wanted to make sure that everybody was kind of aware because it did spike so hard this week. But we wanted everybody, and thanks to our sources for coming through on this one, and hopefully the kind of information gets out there. And don't
overpay.
Don't overpay. At least not right now. I mean, you can still love the book and still want to go for it, but yeah, just know that Monstrous is not coming to HBO Max. All right. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in, and make sure you, if you can share the channel to anybody, do so. And again, check us
out Monday nights.
Yeah, check us out on Monday nights. We do have a regular CBSI podcast on Monday nights at 9:30. And make sure you again hit that like button, subscribe with that little bell. That way, whenever we do pop something out like this, you will get a notification. And is that all you guys got?
That's it, my friends. We'll see you all next week.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.